Everyone, it is Tuesday and I wanted to check in with you and see how you guys and gals are doing. Happy Tuesday. Hope your Christmas was a very merry one if you were celebrating. If you're here and you want to chat, say hello. You should do that. And also I'm just going to make sure that all of my settings are correct and that people can actually see this. So we're going to bear with me 1 second. While we do that, I'm going to give you a song and I'm going to give you a song for just a second and then I'll come right back and check it out. Let's see here. Let's try. Oh, it's so many choices. So it's hard to pick. So how's it going? Oh, wow. There's a few of you here. Thank you. Thanks for hanging out with me on a Tuesday. And I want to know, 1, how was your Christmas? 2, do you have any plans for New Year's? Let me know all the things. Okay. And then also I was going to prepare you guys. We are doing a live stream on Thursday and we're going to be doing some year-end preparations. And I thought we could plan together what content looks like on the channel in the new year, and you guys can see how we kind of go into that. Also, if there are video ideas that you really want to see, either drop them as a comment in the Google form that's listed in the description box, or make sure you're here on Thursday to voice those ideas so that we can kind of like pencil them in and see where they would fit into the schedule for this next year, because let's make some content this next year. Yeah. The beat kind of hits, right? I think so too. Embarrassing. Why was it embarrassing? I stayed home. We thought maybe that, my mom would be coming, but then there was snow on the path, so she stayed home. So it was just my husband and I. So it was a very, very low-key Christmas. We had gotten a couple nights before a big takeout order of Chinese food, and we just ate leftovers and hung out by the tree, and that was really it. So I don't think anybody's Christmas was probably more low-key than ours. It was like any other day. So there's that. Christmas was okay, and New Year's, I don't know. Sitting in the hospital with my daughter, probably, that doesn't sound like the most fun. So sending good vibes to your daughter there. Check, check, check. Hey, Running Fish, how are you doing? Hey, Louise. And hey, everyone. Glad to see all of you here. Thanks for popping in. Hi, Giorgio. Nice to see you as well. Also, like I said, if you guys have questions or comments or video ideas that you want to see in the new year, make sure you drop them in the Google form. That way I can add them to the list for next year. So I'm excited for that. Oh shoot, that one is just the link. I want to see the one where it's actually though, like I can see the answers. So you stayed in, it was a low-key Christmas. Awesome, awesome. I gotta say, I thought it was really cool. I was looking abouts on Twitter, as I normally do, and I saw that Daniel Batal had been doing, tell me how $100 could change not your life, but your life as a YouTube creator or whatnot. And I thought it was really cool. And I saw that he had given you 30-minute consultation and had done that with someone else for an hour and then sent out a whole bunch of equipment and whatnot. So I thought that was a really cool thing. If you guys haven't checked in on that thread, it's just a good one for a feel-good moment. If you want to go check out Daniel Batal, of of course. He's helping everyone become better creators and better humans possibly. And, also learning to video edit. It's also, he's got better hair than just about anybody on the internet. So a lot of the things that you might like about me, you might like about him. If you guys all know who he is though. So if you guys want to check it out, you should go check out Daniel Batal. Yeah. Okay. So the Google form, you know what? It's because it's the same Google form and it rolls over. And I think there's actually a question in there from many, many moons ago, from when you had responded. In fact, let me go in there. I don't know if there's a setting where people can respond multiple times. Let me see about that actually. Questions, settings. Make this a quiz. No. Responses. Let's take a look at that. Send responses, allow response. Aha, limit to 1 response. Here we go. So I will unclick that. Okay, so there's that. So the running, because this is the same Google form from all the times I've been live streaming. So it was previously limited to 1 response. So you probably would have gotten you've already filled out this form, but I have unclicked the box. So hopefully if you wanted to put in another question, try and refresh now and see if it would let you. So you can let me know how that goes. Best wishes from an Englishman in the French forest. Oh my gosh, stop it. Thank you so much. Oh, you're so welcome. And if you're looking for more help with Keynote, you should definitely check out Bradley Vinson. I think it's Bradley Vinson Teaches. He does a ton of stuff with Keynote. He even has a Gumroad, which is an online store of different assets and whatnot that he's created in Keynote. I believe some are downloadable so that you can futz around with them if you want to do so, or there are things that you can special order through him, or he has tons of tutorials, I think, on his channel as well. I've learned a thing or two from Bradley Vinson about making frames in overlays for Ecamm. I did that one with his help. So if you're looking for another Keynote teacher, Bradley Vinson is a great one, so check him out too. Good afternoon from California. Hello, Captain John. Hello, Craig Mussine. I think that's Jonathan Gatson over there, right? And you can't find the form for the video ideas. Right, it's the first line in my description box. It says, got a question, ask here. So click on that. Is IG caption only available in US and UK only? I don't know, actually. Where are you? Where are you located? If you can't do the Instagram built-in captions, can you do the captions inside of their side app, which is Threads? I'm just curious if you can do it in that. Let me know. We have our very first super chat. Thank you so much. Okay, so we gotta do the super chat thing, right? Give me 1 second here. We're gonna click into our super chat. We're gonna do that. 1 second. Click into our window. We gotta make it believe that we're still in. Here we go. Thank you so much for the super chat. Here we go. Y'all know what we do. Nice. Thank you so much for your super chat. I really, really appreciate that. And if you have a question that you want to, have me respond to, you can throw it in the Google form or throw it in the chat, and we can definitely have a little chat about that. I am just checking in to say hello. Basically, that is what this live stream is. So if there's something that you guys want to chat about, let me know. Also, I don't know if I told you, but some of the plans for the new year, and we'll go into this on Thursday, but I am relaunching channel memberships, and that's going to be, I'm really excited about this one because before there were 3 levels, now there's only 2 levels, and it's going to be either like the first level where you get the little icons and we'll have like member only streams. And then the second one, we do a private Facebook group where we can ask questions with the Facebook group. So it's a very small group of people. So hopefully that'll be like a fun area to kind of like hang out and be together and ask questions with other creators. Stop, Georgia. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh. Okay. We're going to have to, we got to find another super chat song. Wow. Thank you. That's so nice. That's so nice. 1 second. Let me, I was going to say, Super Chat's great. You can join. That would have covered 2 months of your channel membership. 1 second. Let me find a song. For you. I want the funky one. I know I just labeled one. Here we go. Thank you so much for your super chat, Giorgio. I really appreciate that. Happy New Year's as well to you. If there are questions that I can answer for you, please put it in the chat so I can help you out with something. Thank you so much for your super chat. I really, really appreciate you. Thank you so much. All right. Real Estate in Español con Claudia Fleisch says, hi. Hola. What are your thoughts on using shorts to get subscribers? You're currently under 100, 3 shorts per week, and 1 long form. So what are my thoughts on using shorts to get subscribers? I think shorts are a great way to try and get yourself exposed to people who might not normally see your content. That can result in subscribers if what they are seeing and coming across intrigues them to actually see more from you. So one thing with shorts, though, because people's attention spans are also short, you will have to see repeated exposure more times and more touches than you would in a long form type of tutorial content where people have 5, 6, 10 minutes to hang out with you and get to know you and all that kind of stuff. All of the subscribers that you gain through shorts will count towards your 1,000 if you're trying to get monetized. All of the watch time that you gather while on the shorts shelf does not qualify. Only views that would be counted from your channel homepage would count towards monetization, but because it's 15 to 60 seconds at a time, it takes a really long time for that to add up. Now, if you're doing it just to get more exposure, great. I was on a conference call actually with a whole bunch of YouTube creators, and we're on hiatus right now until the new year. But really, really interesting in that group, a lot of the people were talking about their strategies, about how they use shorts and whatnot. And I just think it was really funny because I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing here, because there are people with like millions of subscribers, but they were telling me that they're putting out 3 to 5 shorts a day. So it's one of those like, you can uncheck the button when you upload and you're on your desktop to not notify your existing subscribers of videos, because if you are putting out multiple shorts in a day, YouTube will only notify 3 times within 24 hours your subscribers about new videos. So if you did 3 shorts in one day, plus you had a long form video, it may not behoove you to do all of those as notifications, because you want to get people notified of your longer video, probably not your shorter video. Also, they talked a lot about how when the shorts shelf takeoff does happen, many times it's weeks and weeks and weeks after their initial release of the short. And so it's just it's sometimes a delayed reaction when it comes to the shorts. So I thought that was really interesting to hear, but it was almost like it's fast and furious with the shorts. They were like 3 to 5 a day, and someone was like, oh yeah, I was doing 3, and then I went up to like 5, and I was feeling burnt out, so I went back to 2 a day, and I'm trying to get back to 3, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like I am lucky if I get out, a short and a long video in a week. So it was really interesting because my friend was on there, Lisa, and she has like now 2.5 million subscribers. And she was saying that when she only had her first YouTube anniversary about a couple months ago of her first year on YouTube, just phenomenal growth. And when she started, she was repurposing a lot of her TikToks and whatnot, but she was posting 3 to 5 shorts a day, consistently every day. And it was just nuts. It was nuts to watch all of that happen for her. Did you ask for any of that? No. I am sharing that with you As far as my opinions on it, I feel like with shorts, the more the better. The people who are coming in as subscribers from shorts may not always be the most high quality, stay with you for long term subscribers, if that makes sense, because if you don't keep continuing to put out a lot of short form content that entertains them and what they signed up for, then they may not stick around. So it's kind of like this gamble. It's a gamble, but it's a strategy. So hopefully in that convolutedness, you got an answer that would satisfy you. Okay, you know what? I saw that there was a response that came in. So I do want to take a look at that. Can I look at my 29th? I'm just going to look real quick. Sushi Milo. If I understand you right, and you write here, video suggestions. You did many videos. Can I do a video where you take like 5 editing programs and compare them and put out positives and negatives like price and skills? Actually, I don't know if I'd do it in the same video, but yes, I do plan on doing more reviews of software editing programs in this next year, especially ones on your phone as well. So I think that would be really fun. I might do something like, my 3 top favorite editing apps on an iPhone or on an iPad or on my Android phone, and try and do a few different videos like that. I might be interested in doing something like that. I don't know if I would do like 5 in the same video with pros and cons. I might do like 3, like top 3. I could do top 3. Oh, my hair. So yeah. Definitely I'll have to add that to the list. And on Thursday, I'll be doing content planning for this coming up new year. And it's already been on my mind to how I want to best talk about different editing programs and things inside of them. So that could be fun. Okay, so can I have advice on how to get more subs? Okay, well, first, let's understand, what do you need more subs for? What's the point after you have a certain amount? Like what sub amount number would you be satisfied with to then focus on other things? That would be a question, because you might find if it's just, to make a living or get brand deals or something else like that, get affiliate marketing, you can do that with a smaller channel. In fact, you can do brand deals with 0 subscribers, because you could do a brand deal and do advertisements and videos for people and companies on their own social media channels and not even on your own. So what does the getting to a certain sub number accomplish for you? If it's to get a brand deal, well, you don't necessarily need a subscriber number. I would want you to dig a little deeper. Like, what number would satisfy you, and what does that number get you, right? First of all, you can look at my year in review. I have gained like 1,000, 2,000 subscribers all year. So I've put out, I don't know, like 100 videos. So if you want to make 100 videos to gain 2,000 subscribers, just start cranking out videos. I'm definitely not an amazement. Hey, Digital Slang, great to see you. But again, keep in mind that, if it's just to have, let's say, 40,000 subscribers or 39. I think 2022 though, man, is the year I'm going to hit 40. I'm going to hit 40. I'm going to tell you that right now, because I am also going to be making a video about this, about mistakes that I've made and how I have done just about everything you can do wrong when it comes to a YouTube channel. And yet she persisted, and she is still here, and she is here to tell you all the things not to do. So I have a video in mind for how I failed my way to 40,000, and you can too, just faster than I did, because I've done all the things wrong. And so let me just tell you, like, the subscriber number, it doesn't mean as much as you think it means. And once you kind of realize that it's not just about a number, it's about the specific goal that you have in mind. Like, I am trying to help people become creators and share what they love with the world. Doesn't have to be about hitting a specific number, although we'd all love that, wouldn't we? D. Niman, hey, it's great to see you. I saw you on the live stream with Zach and the other gentleman, Alt Tech Dad, I believe, or Tech Alt Delete Dad, whatever. I saw you on that, and miss your face, dude. Great to see you. Hi, everyone in chat. Oh, Tech Love and Mama. Hey, how's it going? It's great to see you, too. Zach talks. Wow, the whole crew is showing up. Zach, I was just talking about you saying that Dee was on your show, and I was enjoying that. Very important question. How do you have the join button down by your subscribe button? That's a great question. Pineapple absolutely does belong on pizza, okay? I agree. A hot dog is a specific type of special category, and it's not necessarily a sandwich by itself, okay? Yes, I was there. I was there lurking. And also, Dee or Zach, if you feel like coming in, let me know. I'll throw a link out and you guys can come join me. We're just shooting the breeze, and I'm just doing a catch up with people. And he did not force his way. Oh, stop it. So the join button down below, I'm sneakily bringing it back. I am launching channel memberships again. I had them for a while, and then when I took the job at TubeBuddy, I decided that I didn't know how much content I was going to be putting out on this channel. I knew I wasn't going to be able to be talking about all the same subjects, and so I really wanted to make sure that anyone who had signed up for a channel membership previously, that they were getting exactly what they signed up for. So I ended up turning off channel memberships. And so I am going to be bringing them back. I've soft launched them. Unlike last time, I'm going to have 2 levels, and one is going to be for, the members only live streams and videos that we typically do, and you get some cool emojis and badges. And then the second level is going to be a private Facebook group where we can just chat about YouTube with each other. So I'm really excited to bring that back in the new year. And I think, like I said, on Thursday, I'll be doing a kind of a road mapping of what my channel looks like. There are certain perks and benefits that come after you get monetized. And when you reach a certain threshold, sometimes it's a little bit lower for the gaming channels and other channels. But you'll have the access button for that join so that you can basically create levels. It's kind of like a Patreon inside of YouTube. And you can set your prices. You can set the perks and benefits that people might get at each level. So, hey, we got our very first. You are my very first channel member, the very first time around. Okay, hold on. And I have been a long-standing member of the Zach pack over there. So hold on, let's bring this in here and hold on to your ears. I think this one's loud. Set it up now. Thank you, Zach, for rejoining the Shelly Squad. Appreciate you. Really, really excited that you are here. Thank you so much. And so to finish on that Jace's World, once you do that and you're enrolled in the monetization program, you can set your levels, you can set your perks and benefits, and then you can offer that to your channel subscribers or whatnot. And there can be anything from posts that only channel subscribers see. There can be live streams that only channel members may be able to see or access or chat in. And then whatever else. I know Zach has levels where he does like creator shout outs and he will follow people back on social media. I think Dee has and Daniel Batal also have levels where they have private Facebook groups as well to ask questions about Facebook. So it's really kind of whatever the creator wants to come up with as levels. And yeah, there you go. You are your first. Woo woo. Dancing emoji. Oh, yay. I forgot. Once we have certain amount of channel members as well, then I'll have access to more emojis. So I was a little bummed because I had more emojis like a dog and some other cute ones. So once we build up the channel members again, we can bring back some of the emojis and create some new ones, whatever you guys would want. So yeah. Oh, you gotta run? Well, good to see you. Thanks for popping in. Appreciate you, Zach. And thanks for joining. Yes, so it does cost money on that one. And you don't have to become a member, like the live streams are that I'm doing, unless they're member only specific. The way that we work them now is anyone can view them, but certain live streams, only channel members can comment during the live stream. Just like in this live stream, only people who are subscribed to my YouTube channel for at least 5 minutes can comment on it. But other than that, when you are a channel member, there will be certain live streams where only channel members can chat. but anyone can be able to view it. And we had taken a poll previously on that because at one point it was only channel members see the stream, only channel members can chat. But they said, hey, it's cool if anyone watches it, but we're just the only ones who can chat. So that's the way it works now. But thank you for hanging out and joining. That was really, really awesome. And let me see here. You're watching the Minions. Oh, nice. Oh, send a link to Twitter. Oh my gosh, Dee, I'm so sorry. I'm behind. Okay, let me send you a link. 1 second. I'm so sorry. Dee, I'm just seeing this now. I'm gonna get the link. I'm sorry. I will get the link, okay? And I will send it via Twitter DM in just a second here. Copying. Dun, 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 dun. Copy link. Did it copy? Okay. I'm headed over to Twitter now. And whilst I make you guys wait, let me play you a song. So I have sent the link to Dee via Twitter DM. So we will also wait for Dee to pop in, and that will be awesome. So exciting. I'm so glad. Thanks for everything. You got to run. Okay, you're welcome. Thanks for hanging out with us. I did just set up the channel memberships. I just haven't really talked about it very much, but it's back. It's back and better than before. Back in the day, which was a Wednesday when I was in high school as a cheerleader, that was the start of one of our cheers. We're back. We're back and better than before. Yeah, it really was. So yeah, this time around, the channel membership, there's just 2 levels. It's going to be the entry level for the emojis and chat and whatnot. And then the second level is going to be private Facebook group. So we can talk about YouTubes and stuff. So I'm excited for that one. So I'll pop in there, every day or so, every other day, and see if there's any questions about YouTube. So I'm excited about that. Dee, let me know if you're back. Oh, wait, kids set fire to the carpet. Oh, I read that wrong. Oh my gosh. I read that wrong. That was my bad. Also, I'm going to take a peek inside of the questions for live stream because I think I saw that there was one more that popped in. Let's go look. 29 and 30. The running fish. How to get subscribers watch new videos. They don't have the chance to see them on the home page, or if they just skip them. What is a healthy view to subscriber video ratio? Oh, there's a lot to unpack in there. Hey, Graham Cracker J, good to see you. And hopefully, Dee, you are around and you still heard me. 4 messages. Oops, what did I miss? Okay, I'm not quite sure what I missed over there. Okay, so when it comes to publicizing a new video, oh gosh, it's so funny because I even made a video about this in my series about how to make sure that you publicize the right way. It was, do you guys remember that series, the how to find success in the eyes of YouTube, IZE? I thought it was very clever. Someone the other day was like, you say IZE, but it's supposed to be EYES. And I'm like, I'm just trying to be clever, y'all. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about before, after publishing. I got to write myself a post-it. So before, I'm going to say, where did you get the video idea from? Did it come from a poll? Did it come from a question? Did it come from a comment? Are you tagging them saying, hey, I'm making this video for you, right? And then 2, what is the subject of your video actually about? Is it going to be best found in search? Is it going to be from browser and suggested? Like, how are you going to get people to entice to it? Number 3, if it's part of a series, how did you lead people to that new video from previous videos that you've already talked about? Whether it's, make sure that you have set this up correctly, but next you probably have to do this, watch this video. And you have to know the order of which the videos are coming out so that you can point to the correct one appropriately. Or, Vanessa Lau is also very good at, hey, while you're waiting for this video to come out, which will be the continuation, make sure you check out this one. Something like that. Then it's also going to be about leveraging the network that you already have. So are you tweeting about it? Are you releasing? Did you put it on Pinterest? Did you put it on TikTok? Did you put it on Instagram? Now that everyone has the link to the video type sticker, did you do that? And not only that, a lot of people will only do it on the day the video releases, but if it's an evergreen type content type of video, there's nothing saying that you can't go into a TweetDeck or into an Agora Pulse or some other scheduling thing and put out that video tweet information in 48 hours again, or 1 week later, or a month later, and start to put them out into a schedule with put out this picture and then put out this link or something like that, because a lot of the time people are very selfishly in the thought that as soon as they put out a video that everyone from their existing subscriber base will have seen it, will have watched it, will have absorbed it. And it's usually not always the case. It's not. So when it comes to view to subscriber ratio, honestly, it's hard to sometimes put a number on that because of many, many factors, including the fact that if you are a search-based channel, if you put out a lot of content that is on varying and different things, like I do, like I might talk about Keynote and then iMovie and then YouTube advice and then whatever else. If someone isn't interested in that piece of content because like they don't want to talk about Ecamm and Keynote because they don't have a Mac, right? Then you have a lot of people who are subscribed for one thing, like how to make a subscribe button, let's say, but they don't care about anything else that you're putting out, and they're not going to watch more videos until you put out something that is then pertinent to them. So you could have a huge, great subscriber base like I do and still have a ton of people not watch any of your videos because they're not using InShot, they're not using an iPhone, they're not using Touch Retouch as an app. And so if you are going to be a search and how-to based type of channel, you could have a huge fluctuation in people that are watching and view to subscriber ratio. So it could go anywhere from 2% to 15% based on. So it's really hard to answer that. If you have something that's more of a personality based and driven channel where it's, Casey Neistat and vlogging, which by the way, who else is taking his vlogging class starting January 10th? A lot of that doesn't have to do so much with even the subject that is in or being talked about, because a lot of his aren't necessarily talking about a specific thing, but it's revolving around him, his personality, the city, and then that kind of thing. So you may have a lot of people who tune into that. So someone like that, as more of a lifestyle type of vlogger, could have a much higher ratio than someone like myself or Dee, who is, talking about, oh, speaking of, I see you in the green room. I'm going to assign you a spot. Give me a thumbs up if you're ready to come in. All right, and I'm going to bring you in here in 1 second. Hopefully in 3, 2, 1. Hopefully I did it right. Hello, here's my green screen. Hello, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing? Happy holidays.
Happy holidays to you as well. I'm going to fix my green screen here. How are you? Tell me what you and the girlfriend did while you were in Mexico for Christmas.
Nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing. We did nothing. We ordered a ton of food on Uber Eats. I think we ordered like pizza and chicken wings and ice cream and Starbucks and snacks and cakes and donuts. We ordered a ton of food and just sit around and watch movies all day. That was our safe
We kind of
Christmas.
did the same. Like we ordered Chinese food the day before, so Christmas Eve, And we just sat and like watched TV and like we did nothing. Like it was very nothing. So, but it was great. It was nice and relaxing. It was wonderful. I saw you on Zach's stream. I know you didn't force your way on there.
Oh, I did. I held him down and took it.
Oh,
I'm coming on the stream. I'm coming on.
I got things to say. I got things to say. Activate LA. He actually just closed his, referring to Casey Neistat's class, he just closed his enrollment yesterday. So yesterday was the last day to enroll. It was on monthly. And so I'm not sure if and when it will be released again in a round 2. So unfortunately, I think you have missed the cutoff for that. So,
did you join?
Are you taking the class?
No, I'm not. Did you?
I am going to take the class. Yeah. I was like, I want to learn. I want to see what he has to say about this kind of stuff. I was like, yeah, why not? So I'm kind of excited. And I found out that the person who referred me, because anyone who got into the program, it was this like pre-done tweet, and it's like, send this out, and people will save $20, and if anyone signs up, you get $20 or something like that, I think, for a future class. Right. So I was like, yeah, I'd like to save $20, and so I found out that it was from my friend who gave me the coupon or whatever code, and then I think we'll also be in the same like accountability group. So I thought that was kind of cool. And I like that during this one, you actually do end up making 2 videos. So you make 2 videos during the process, learn the Casey Neistat style. Like, why not? I mean, why not, right?
Yeah, sounds exciting. I think it was just a matter of time before he came out with his own course. And he's so unique. He's got such a great way of putting his content together, and he's such a great visual storyteller.
Have you watched his brother's channel too?
Yes.
I've been highly impressed with his brothers as well.
I don't watch all of the videos.
I haven't either. These like the very first ones that came out.
Yeah, I watch from time to time if I have time for it. I actually don't consume a lot of YouTube content anymore. But I catch him when YouTube puts it in front of me. I'm like, okay, that looks interesting. His brother is just very unique. He's very unique. And I love that, like, you can see where Casey got it from, right? You can see that he got his, like, everything is labeled with like markers and like tape and like very handmade and stuff like that. I dig that. Yeah,
me too. I like the one episode where he's talking like how to fix his how he fixed his dishwasher, He's like, I am that man, or, the whatever, the specific type of man, I thought that was an interesting.
Yeah.
I do want to talk about one thing though, just briefly, quickly. And that is, I went to Casey's video. It was the one that was released on Monday, like, hey, this is the last day or whatever. Maybe it was released on Sunday saying like, you only have until the end of tomorrow to get this class. And the amount of comments that I saw from people who are very much used to be Casey fans, stans, whatever you want to call them, and now are in this camp of like, you're only coming back to YouTube to like make money and sell us things. And like how, not entitled, but how angry some people online get when any creator tries to take something and sell it back to them, even if it's coming from this place of goodness, education, whatever you want to call it, and how many people are so upset about it. And I just thought that was like a fun topic to kind of broach anyway. It doesn't matter what it is. If it's you're selling your first digital sticker, I had made an iMovie Made Easy class. Casey is doing a filmmaking class. It could be a shirt, whatever. But the backlash that happens sometimes when all of a sudden a content creator has the gall to charge for something with their audience, and how that audience sometimes reacts, I think is just a fascinating case study. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I think it's a really weird disconnect where people who probably work for a living somehow expect the people who they follow on social media not to work for a living. I just think that's just a really weird disconnect. It's like they go to work 6, 7, 8, 10, 12 hours a day, 5, 6, 7 days a week, however often you have to work. Some people carry 2 jobs. But people who make content and put it up freely on the internet for everyone to consume freely, like if you want your favorite creators to continue creating content regularly, they have to make money, be it through sponsorships or products that they sell or courses or whatever it is they come up with. Like, they have to make money to continue doing what they're doing. And if you like, I just think it's amazing that people can make money doing what it is that we do. And I support anyone who has anything to sell at any level. And I'm happy to cheer them on, because why wouldn't you want someone making money doing what it is they love to do? Or something, you know what I mean? I just think there's this really bizarre disconnect. I don't know if it comes from a place of people being jealous that someone gets to make money doing something really awesome, and maybe their job sucks.
They feel entitled that everything should be free.
Forever. Yeah. There could be that too. I mean, I don't know how old you are, but we used to have to pay for music back before like Napster came along, and you could just started downloading everything. Now, like ever since the whole free thing came along, people don't want to pay for anything. They don't want to pay for software. They don't want to pay for apps. They don't want to pay for music. They don't want to pay for movies. You hear people complaining about paying for Netflix. It's like, how do you think this stuff gets made?
Well, in fact,
it's a weird disconnect.
I had a whole bunch of comments that I was on the other channel, that people are so angry about things that cost more in different levels, or why some people get certain benefits and others don't. Or I had a back and forth exchange with someone who was like just absolutely furious that like A/B testing and all of this stuff just wasn't free and included. And I'm like, there's an entire team of people that have to code. They're making a living, and they're like, you guys are just about, and we're like, no, obviously not. But like, it's like, he's like, every feature that you guys should be for free. And I'm like, YouTube doesn't give it to you for free. YouTube doesn't like, not all of these things. And I'm like, so if everything is free, why would the people who work here continue to work here to build this product where none of them make any money? You don't go to work for free. Right. It's like that. Like, I was like flabbergasted, bewildered, all the things that you can, and I was just like, he was so mad that A/B testing was behind the highest level, and the fact that we have the audacity to charge for things. And I was just like, I don't know how to explain it to you that there is an entire team of 30 people that work here, and they're not all doing it for free. And so features sometimes cost money. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's just a weird disconnect. I think, I don't know. It's truly bizarre, because if you flip that on them and you said, I'll tell you what, I'll give you this course for free. I'll give you this shirt for free. We'll give you A/B testing for free. We'll give you all this stuff for free. But in return, you've got to go to work for free. You no longer collect a paycheck. They would be outraged. They wouldn't do it. Yeah. Like, they just don't understand that other people have to make money too. I don't understand the disconnect there, but it's a weird phenomenon.
And I don't understand, Casey's course is I think it was $230 with the discount or whatever, right? And the fact is, it's like, hey, if you don't want to pay for the course, it's about value, perceived value in your mind, right? If you don't find that the value is there, then don't buy it. But also, don't crap on Casey for saying that what he's learned over years and billions of views isn't worth money from being taught to other people, right? And it's just, it irritates me, because everyone is just like, well, you should just give it away for free. And I'm like, if you want to, go study all of his videos and see why he does the things he does, and you'll probably pick up a few things. But if you want to hear it directly from the source, if you want to have the shortcut as to why he thinks the way he does, or why he sets it up a certain way, then you pay for that convenience and shortcut. But if you don't find that the value is there, right, then don't hand over a credit card, or certainly don't go into debt for it. It is about a perceived value. And if you don't have perceived value, then don't buy it. But don't like crap all over it just because someone created it as well. I don't know. It's just, for me, like, I can't wrap my head around why they're so upset.
While you were speaking, I was looking up how many videos Casey has, and assuming this is accurate from socialblade.com. So Casey has released on YouTube alone 1,066 free videos on YouTube. Over 1,000 free pieces of content he's uploaded to YouTube, and he never asks for anything. Like he's not one of those channels where he's always pushing stuff. Like he doesn't ask for stuff, and then he comes out with something that's very reasonably priced, in my opinion, considering his wealth of knowledge and experience as a storyteller and a YouTuber. And he comes out with something to sell, and people are losing their minds. Like he's given you over 1,000 free pieces of content.
Right.
Why can't he ask? Why? And it's not like he's making you buy it. Like, hey, buy this or you can't watch my content anymore.
Yeah.
It's just like, hey, if you are interested in this, if this is something that could help you, I have this product that might help you. Like, there's no reason to get outraged.
Exactly.
Fake
And like they're just mad because they want it, but they don't either have the perceived value to purchase it, or they just think it's unfair that because they're so accustomed to everything being free, it's just this slap in the face to them that all of a sudden now they have the audacity to ask for money. And so personal story, I had my own whole like range of this too, where I was just like, dude, I worked for a year on a course and put out a course. And even when I was like, hey, I think it's priced really well. And the amount of people who then would be like, you know, say something snarky. And I'm like, well, then watch all of my videos for free. I'm not stopping you. This is a shortcut. It's a guided roadmap. It's, you know, it's all of these things. But again, it's perceived value. If you don't perceive that value is there for you, then don't buy it. But like, also don't crap on me for making it. Like, it just drives me a little bit like banana sandwich. Cause like, I'm like you, like I'm all for buying creator stuff when it comes out. So like El Jefe has a shirt, like I bought a shirt of his, and like, you know, when other people have things, like I buy stuff from Roberto, or I buy, you know, like, because one, I want to help feed creator. Like, what's a $40 sweatshirt from, you know, Amazon or from Macy's versus a $40 one that is also supporting a creator? You know, it's just, I don't understand it, because people get so upset and they want everything, all content to be free. And I'm like, okay, I've been putting out all this content, and then you get mad that there's too many ads, right? YouTube's going to put ads on no matter or not, even if I'm monetized, right? So there's that. So, and then they're going to be mad that I have a sponsored break in my, and I'm like, okay, but you guys aren't buying my courses, and I'm not making you guys buy anything else. Or let's say I haven't launched channel memberships or Patreon. You guys aren't doing buy me a coffee. You know, it's like, how do you expect me to pay for this camera and this green screen and these lights and this computer and the broadband, you know, that I'm using? Like, all of it costs money. So if you guys don't want to give me any from even, you know, or saying like, oh, I have an ad blocker. Well, that's great, but I still have to like pay for stuff, you know, or like, I don't understand why people get so upset about like, oh, how dare you with an Amazon affiliate link? And I'm like, if you're going to buy the thing, it doesn't cost you any extra, just like any other affiliate link. So what exactly are you most upset about right now if I get the 3% maybe on a certain category from something that you were convinced to buy because you watched my video? Like, explain the outrage to me.
And a lot of times the links that we get as creators for products actually give them discounts.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, hey, you want to save 20%, so I guess I'm not sure why you think now I'm a sellout because I worked with a company that I actually like.
Yeah,
oh, wow.
I don't really, I usually like, I don't do a lot of sponsored videos anymore. I'm trying to work with less brands, but I know that sounds counterintuitive. I just don't like it. But when I would have more sponsored videos and I would get those sorts of comments in the thing, I just hide them from the channel. Like I realize that if you are complaining that I have a sponsored video, you're complaining that there's a link to sign up to get 20 or 50% off. Like if you're complaining about that, like you're not somebody I want in my community. So just, you know, I don't want to see your comments, and I just hide them from the channel.
Right. And I don't understand, because when someone I know gets like a sponsorship, I'm like, oh yeah, hell yeah. Good for you, you know, or even if it's like an ad read that I know is coming and I don't care for the product, I'm like, 2 L buttons to skip, you know, 10 seconds ahead each for the 20-second ad read. Just keep watching the video. But like, I'm certainly not going to go out of my way to like bitch and talk about it. Like, I just don't understand the point. Like, and I really want to be like, how would you like people to make money then? Like that's really what it comes down to. It's like, fine, you don't want us to do all these things. Tell us how you would like us to make money so that we can continue to do these things, like make videos.
Right. Well, and then they'll also complain if you have too many ads in your video. So again, those are people that I've just come to realize that no matter what you do, you're not going to please them. They're going to complain about something. So I just hide them from the channel. If you're leaving toxic comments about somebody trying to make money, you're not somebody I want part of the community. You can watch my videos all you want. I'm not going to look at your comments, and I don't want to expose the positive members of the community who understand how life works. I'm not going to expose them to you either.
I love that. Who understand how life works.
Yeah, I mean, people have bills to pay. And that's another thing, too. I also think some of these people may be children. Like, if you look at your demographics of who's actually watching your videos, we do, especially for those of us in the YouTube educator space, because so many younger kids are coming in trying to figure out how to look at YouTube. I don't have my phone with me right now.
As their new career path, because it's now the number one career path that most people want to do. Instead of go to college, they want to be famous.
They want to be a YouTuber. They want to be a social media influencer. And I'm not a fan of the word influencer, but that's what they call it.
I know. Yeah.
And I think if you have younger kids coming in who don't have an understanding of the cost of doing this, or how, you've got to do this and keep your lights on. You got bills to pay and that sort of thing. They don't understand it yet, or maybe, they're still living at home. Mom and dad still takes care of stuff. Maybe they're 14 years old and they don't get it yet. I think a lot of comments come from that sort of thing as well. So again, I just hide them from the channel and I just move on.
Yeah. I mean, that is one of the beautiful parts about being a content creator as well, is even if you can't avoid dickheads, you can certainly hide them from the channel.
That's the best feature. Like, everybody's always talking about YouTube. I'm not going to lose it. Like, I think like removing dislike or getting rid of the Creator Academy, which is really stupid. Like, I'll brush those things off. But like, if they ever get rid of the hide from channel feature, I'm burning Google down. I'm organizing a posse and we're going to Google headquarters.
We ride at dawn.
We ride at dawn.
You will not take this from my cold dead hands.
Right. There's one feature I refuse to do without, and that's hiding people from the channel. That will not stand. Not on my watch.
As most of us go through the online community and whatnot and stay on YouTube, a lot of us have to evolve and change and grow and reinvent ourselves. And I heard
Did you say in one night stands? What did you say?
I did not say that.
Say that again?
I don't know.
You said go through the YouTube community in one night stands. Is that not what you said?
I did not. Y'all, if you guys are out there, like, comment. I did not say that. I did not say anything like that.
That's what I heard. Weird.
Well,
okay.
That's neither here nor there. No, I was saying, as many of us do, we have to continually evolve and change and reinvent ourselves. And I did hear you on Zach's channel saying that you were reinventing and thinking about what you're looking at for like in the new year. So I know you got stuff with your brother and some stuff, but anything that you want to chat and talk about with your personal channel?
Well, yeah, I mean, I've been talking about this since the world shut down.
I know we talked about it before too.
And it's such a weird place to be. Like, and again, I hate to even speak negatively about any of this stuff because I don't want to feel like I'm not appreciative of my position, because I am. I'm totally appreciative. But like you said, in terms of like, you constantly have to think of like, where's my next step and how can I stay relevant, right? So it's kind of a curse of, like when you start on social media, let's just focus on YouTube. You start on YouTube and all you want is to build your channel, right? You start off and you're like, I want subscribers, right? I want my custom URL. And you start climbing out of the hole and, I want to start working with brands. I want to do this, I want to do that. And before you know it, like all the things that you want are happening. Before you know it, you're a full-time creator. Right. Before you know it, you're a full-time creator. Before you know it, you have contracts with multiple brands that like you have to upload. You have to fulfill these obligations to these brands. Like you know what I mean? Like you start at one place and you end up over here, and it starts in a place where
right?
It creeps up on you before you know it, and it starts in a place where you're just trying to get your first 100 subscribers.
Yep.
And before you know it, you've got all these contracts and companies that you're working with, and you're like trying to juggle all this stuff. And then for me, I realized, like when I was here, when the world shut down, and I just really started rethinking everything about, what's happening and being locked in another country. And I just started thinking about life in general. And I started thinking about YouTube and social media presence. And I was like, okay, I need to make a very smart next step. And if I didn't have the obligations that I have, it would be much easier to make that step. And that's one of the reasons I've been working with less brands and turning more deals down and actually eliminating some of the deals that I've had, because I don't want that pressure of
you have to keep staying in the same box when you're trying to break out.
Yeah, right. Like not only do I have to pivot and make the right steps, but I have to do it and remain relevant to continue to get paid a certain amount of revenue for the content that I make while carrying the load of the brands on my shoulder and my obligations to them, right? Because if you make the wrong step and then the videos that you do with them don't perform,
right,
the money's going to go down. And you know what I mean? It's like a row of dominoes. So I've just been stuck in this place where I'm just like, I kind of know what I want to do, but at the same time, I'm just like, is that what I really want to do? You know what I mean? I'm stuck in this spot where, like, I'm not even sure if I want to go down the YouTube educator road anymore, to be honest with you.
Oh my God. I feel like we should, well, one, chat, but two, I am doing a, what does 2022 look like content planning roadmap session on Thursday, if you want to be part of it, where we kind of like think about, like, what do I really care about? What do I want to talk about in this next year? And what does that content strategy look like for me? Because I'm doing the same. And I'm very much in the same kind of boat. I'm like, I don't know what I want to do in this coming year. I really don't. And so, we can totally talk about that. But I have so many different like ideas. And I was telling someone actually today, I was like, one of the problems is, I think when I think about myself is like, you know how people are always like, specialists make more money and specialists are better and specialists, all that. And I'm like, oh, I'm such a generalist and I know just a little bit about lots of different things. And that's always been my curse, because it's really hard to pick something and or stick with something. And it's just not, I just don't want to be boxed in, right? Like, as we talk about, you know, I don't want to be the subscribe button person. I don't want to just be the, you know, the iMovie girl, or I don't want to just be the whatever, title that you have. And I'm like, all I know are so many things that I don't want to do, but it's really hard for me to articulate what I do want to do. And so like, I'm just thinking like even the brainstorming might even help, because I'm just a little bit like out of sorts with what does it all mean? What does it all look like next year? So I'm right there with you with,
it's a
blow it all up.
So you understand and I totally get where you're coming from. It's just a weird place to be. And again, I'm not complaining, and I hate even speaking negatively about it, but it's just a weird place to be in, because I got to where I wanted to be with YouTube, and then once I got here, I realized that I could do more, but I don't know what the more is. Like,
and we've talked about that too with you, because you're very multi-talented as well, multifaceted. I feel like we're similar in that way.
Very. Yeah. And we're very similar. And I feel like if I go back and I'm just like, well, here's how you make a YouTube thumbnail, I just feel like I'm not only doing a disservice to me as somebody who's making the video, I'm just walking through the motions on that one, but I feel like I'm doing a disservice to the people who are watching the videos as well, because I've already made those videos. And it's like, I don't know. I don't know how to put my finger on it, but there's more that I could be doing. I just don't know what that more is yet. And I don't necessarily know if it's in the YouTube education space or not. It might be.
I'm right there with you.
I might end up down the road, and it could just be that I'm trying to figure out a different way to approach it, and I just don't know what that is yet, because we're surrounded by amazing creators in this space, you know, Roberto Blake and Daryl Lees and Tim Schmorier and my brother and Daniel Battelle. I mean, there's Brian G. Johnson. There's too many to name that are just amazing at this, and I just feel like, do we really need another voice talking about the same things?
Sometimes I actually think about that a lot, but here's what I might counter with. When you're in a sea of YouTube gurus, for all intents and purposes, no better word, you know all of the YouTube gurus, and it feels like the universe is full of YouTube gurus, right? And what's interesting and strange is I will talk to other people outside of these niches of YouTube, and I'll talk to someone in the beauty space, and I'm like, who do you watch when you want to learn about YouTube?
Right.
And they'll name some person that I've never even heard of, right? And I'm like,
right.
And I'm in the YouTube educator space. I should know a lot of them, right? And I have no idea who these people are. I'm like, really? maybe they should be on my radar. And so I feel like when you're saying, and I feel the same way, I'm like, oh gosh, there's so many, it's so saturated. It's because we're in the middle of it. And there's already, when you think outside of it, or when you get outside of it, there's so many people that people have never even heard of. Like I'll talk to someone, they'll be like, I don't know who Amy Schmittauer is, or I don't know who Roberto is. And in our world, it's like, oh dude, I talk about them, with them all the time. What are you talking about? And it's just like, nope, never heard of them. And so that's one thing I think about right there. And personally for me, I also think a lot about how a lot of the YouTube education that's out there, some of it's not good. And a lot of it isn't realistic. And
what advice from YouTubers, you mean? Oh my God, there's so much bad information floating around.
Advice, right? And I was just like, how can I be kind of snarky but honest? Because that's not necessarily always what people want. But I'm so tired of hearing people give really bad advice. And I'm tired of them being like really successful too.
I almost made a video once, maybe about a year ago. I was going to, and same thing. I was just like noticing like video after video, just wrong advice, just blatantly, verifiably wrong information. And I thought about making a video just throwing a whole bunch of people under the bus. And just like, if you're listening to these channels, they're leading you in the wrong direction. Like I thought about doing that and then counteracting every one of their claims with actual information from YouTube and Google directly, right? Yeah. But then I was like, nah, that's gonna start
just burning some bridges. Yeah, I tried to do it once with the hot takes, like the YouTube myths that we tell ourselves type thing. I even had Travis on, Travis McP, and we talked about it a little bit. Travis. But there's so much bad advice out there. But it's like it's really hard because you can't just be like, stop listening to them, because they have their own little armies of people that come and support. And
I see.
And the truth is, if they're going to follow someone, a lot of the time we tell people like, just pick one person, stick with their advice and go for it for a while, right? Because you will hear 10 people with 10 different opinions. And so on one hand, I want to just be like, hey, you found someone, you're listening, at least you're executing and doing something, right? But on the other hand, I'm like, I would never tell anyone to do that in my entire life. Please don't do this. That could get your channel terminated. But it's like, I can't.
Well, hey, I see Annette's in the chat. Hey, Annette, how you doing? And she said something that's very true. She says, especially on Clubhouse, everyone's an expert.
I've never met.
Man, you're not kidding.
I have never met more self-made millionaires in my entire life. Right.
I drop into Clubhouse every now and then, but like it's turned into like in terms of like YouTube education and stuff like that.
Oh my gosh, it is such a disaster.
Dumpster fire. It is an absolute dumpster fire.
It's so bad. And I feel bad because every once in a while, if I pop into a room and, someone tries to bring me on stage, I'm just like, oh, I want nothing to do with this room. I just back away slowly. Like, nope. Yeah. No. But I am feeling in the same type of thing as you. It's like, I just don't know what next year brings and holds.
It's awesome. Like I mentioned, and it's hard to articulate this. It's hard to take all of these things rattling around in my head and articulate them in a way that makes sense. But it's like also, I'm in a position where, and I'm thankfully in a position to where I do have a fairly large audience. I do have a lot of connections with different brands who will support me if I ask for their support. So I'm in a very fortunate position, and I just feel like there's just more that I could do. I feel like there's a bigger play there's a bigger play that's just around the corner that I can't see just yet.
Can't quite see just yet.
I don't know what the play is, but I know there's something around the corner that I just like. I feel like I should be doing something more, doing something bigger.
It's going to reveal itself, right?
Yeah.
I feel the exact same way, honestly. Like I'm just like waiting, and I'm like, what is it? I just have that unsettled feeling, and I'm like, I don't know what it is just yet. I'm close, right? I'm almost there. It hasn't been revealed to me yet.
Yeah, and it's weird, and it's hard to articulate, but you get it. You get it.
Absolutely get it.
and I also feel, okay, since we're going down this rabbit hole, I feel there's such a enormous failure on YouTube's part explaining how the platform works, and the fact that they didn't even really let people know the Creator Academy existed. They did a really poor job of letting people know it was there, but they got rid of it. So they got rid of the instruction manual to YouTube, which just, I don't even want to get into that because it's infuriating. But the point is this: we should not exist.
We shouldn't
right?
have
Like,
to be the educators because there should be
Yeah.
really good education. Yes.
There should not be a niche of YouTube educators. Like, we should not exist. And the fact that we do exist is
And
troubling.
get it wrong.
And,
For some of
but
us,
here's-
and we get it wrong and tell people the wrong information because YouTube has done such a poor job of telling people what the
Yeah.
right information is.
Right. And take that a step further. Not only should we not have to exist, but I think we're all doing a terrible job at getting information out, because I see person after person, creator after creator after creator, still not understanding what everyone has been telling them. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, we're obviously not getting the message out somehow. I feel like I'm failing as a teacher. I'm failing as an educator because people still are not understanding what it is they need to do. Some people are, but a lot of people are. It's still not clicking. So I'm thinking that's a failure on us as educators. Like, we're not saying it in a way, or we're not explaining it in the right way, or our analogies aren't correct. I don't know what it is, but I don't know, man. I can't put my finger on it, but I think we could all be doing more.
I actually have a copy of the YouTube playbook from like 2015, maybe. Old school. I think the 80-page PDF. And I was actually going to go through it as part of like a video series. This is something I was thinking of. And then talking about, this is what they told us 6 years ago, 7 years ago now at this point. And that's the last time that I remember them having a playbook that they put out.
Yeah.
Now they pretty much don't exist. And what would have been in the Creator Academy is now gone. And if you don't know the right terminology and phrases to use while searching, it's so hard to find the information that you really need. But I was thinking of going kind of like chapter by chapter and talking about, what do they say about, these different things from 7 years ago? And what advice, if I wanted to rewrite that manual now, what would I do and say? And it was like, can I, as one person, basically rewrite the book on how to do YouTube? If I was to go through it and update advice and like collate it all together, could I put out an updated YouTube version of like how to YouTube? I don't know. It's kind of a thought I was thinking.
If they would read it,
Not even if they would read it. If fellow creators would like actually take it and be like, hey, this is from 2015. This is my thoughts on 2017. Yeah. Like an updated playbook, because I just don't see them coming up with a new one.
I think for as amazing of a platform as YouTube is, where they epically fail is communication with the creators and helping people understand how the platform works. Yeah. And you'll even get conflicting information from YouTube engineers. So if you know someone there who works with different teams, it's not uncommon to get different information from them. Yep. Because YouTube is so big, and they put everybody in specific teams. Like, this team does this team does this, and a lot of times the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing.
Search and discovery way off from monetization, and they don't even understand how some of the things go together. Yeah, absolutely.
It's really weird. So I don't know. We're just kind of rambling on this, but I about my channel, I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out that next. I for the sake of not tanking my channel completely, which I've just thrown it off a cliff by not uploading videos. But like, I have to get back up on the horse and make content, even if it's just going through the motions, just to keep it afloat, just to stay relevant. Yeah. And I'm not looking forward to that.
I haven't been making a lot of pre-recorded content in this last year. I've only done live streams, the once a week live streams. And I was thinking about, as part of the strategy, and I know you had Luria on, it was actually a lot of what I was already kind of planning to do, and listening to some of her stuff from from Vid Summit and whatnot, of trying to really structure a weekly kind of like call-in show, stripping out the parts, having separate videos for each of the questions, cutting off at the live chat with the end screen, like all of those things that she was talking about. I was just like, is she reading my play? Like, this is all stuff I'm doing next year because I really want to up the content next year. And I don't know if it would be from actual content or just like ripping apart pieces that I've done and having that be the content. But like, right. I don't know. It's part of the strategy. I don't know what next year looks like.
Yeah, like I said, I just know that I have to start uploading again. or my channel is going to severely suffer. So and again, it's just one of those unfortunate situations because I have to now go back and lean on videos that I don't necessarily want to make, but I know, but I know they'll do well, and I know they'll kind of lift my channel back up. It's just it's a weird place to be in, you know?
Yeah. And especially I can see for you too, is if you want to get out of the, let's say, mobile first creator type of game and into other things, you have this really delicate balance as well that you're playing from graduating people from mobile into computers or talking about other things like sound or talking about whatever else, or even pitching away from YouTube in general. What's that transition look like? And how much of that audience is going to like rebel against it or like understand or be like, hey, you know, like we're here with you. It's tough, man. Like the whole pivot and exit strategy is always tough, I think, when you're going from any niche, or like how do you make it seamless or less painful? It's a whole strategy in itself, like how to gently steer.
It is, and most of my traffic is search based. My content generally does not do well with browse traffic. So my traffic sources,
I'm all like 60% search.
Are you?
Yeah.
I'm 80% search, and you know I'm like 80%. Maybe I'm like 3% browse.
I'm way up there in search.
Yeah. So you know when you think about it like that, when you think about the majority of your traffic is coming from search. And I know there's, you know, some people say, oh, search isn't the way to go. I disagree with that.
I disagree in the beginning.
I don't think there is a right or wrong when it comes to this. I mean, if I were to choose one shining example of someone who is almost all search traffic and who's built a 6-figure business out of it, is Justin Brown from Primal Video.
Oh my
Justin
gosh, yeah.
They've built a juggernaut of a channel, and it's all search based. It's all search-based. So when you talk about, you know, search might not be the best way to go. I mean, I think it depends. Like, get in where you fit in. If search is working for you, run with search. If search doesn't work for you, then don't work for it. I look at Justin and Mike Brown from Primal Video, and I'm like, man, these guys are killing it. They are just hand over fist rolling in it, and they get the views. They've built a community. They've got multiple courses. They're speaking at events they're very successful, and they've leveraged search traffic exclusively.
Well, I feel search is really that long game, and you really got to be in it, and they have been.
It is. Yeah, I mean, you're planting seeds and hoping they grow, you know, with search traffic. So when I look at my traffic sources and I'm thinking, okay, well, but most of my traffic is search, and I'm thinking, well, then it really doesn't matter what I make. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if the majority of my traffic is search, it really doesn't matter what I make because people are finding me through search. That's the thing that's really got me rethinking. Like, if that's where my traffic is coming from, then, and if I look at my subscriber ratio versus non-subscriber ratio, few of my subscribers.
I have very few subscribers that watch. It's like 5%.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too. It's incredibly low. So I look at that, and I look at where my traffic comes from, and I look at the returning viewers versus new viewers, and I'm like, why am I painting myself into a corner when it's almost all new people who are coming to my channel?
Yeah.
And when I think about that, it's kind of liberating in a sense. I'm like, okay, well, I can technically do anything. So the question becomes, what do I want to do? What direction do I want to run in?
I'm right there with you. I mean, I feel like you and I are so similar in so many of these ways. Like, I am heavily search-based traffic. I am like extremely low view to subscriber ratio, or like anything like that. Like, very, very similar. And it's one of those where I really painted myself into a box like you did. I mean, with the mobile guy, at least you had a lot of things on mobile you could talk about. I became iMovie and subscribe button girl for a very long time. So it's a tough box to try and crawl out of.
And again, I'm glad. I mean, that was my way in. The way I did it was my foot in the door, and it worked. And there are some videos that I do need to make. I mentioned going through the motions, but to be fair, there are some updated videos that I do need to make to help the mobile community because YouTube has updated a whole bunch of stuff. So there are some videos that are going to be very helpful to people that I do have to remake very soon. Those will probably be my first handful of videos that I do have to make. But beyond that, I've already made all the videos.
What do you
know what I
want
mean?
to make videos on? Like, what do you really want to talk about? What makes your little heart sing?
Man, see, that's the thing. Like, it's not what do I want to make videos on. It's what can I consistently make videos on. There's the loaded question, right? Like, I can make videos on anything, but what can I consistently make videos on for the next 2 years? That's the question.
Does it have to be like, because I feel the same way, because every once in a while I'll be like, oh, I think it'd be really fun to do a draw with me Procreate type video. I'm not going to make 5 years worth of videos of that. Or I think like, oh, you know, it'd be really fun to do this edit along with me just for a once in a while. But I'm like, does it have to always be something that's going to like, can it just be like what makes me happy right now? And you are the personality and base channel, and people come for the variety that is you. And I know Roberto would be like, variety is dead. And I'm like, I get it. But it's like, if I'm going to put out a video, and someone was in the chat earlier being like, oh, I wish I had as many subscribers as you. And I'm like, I'm about to tell you how I failed my way to 40,000, and anyone else can too, because it's an awful place to be where I put out a video and I get 80 views. So like there are people with 5,000 subscribers that get like 10 times the views that I do. So you don't like the only thing you're looking at is the subscriber number, and you think that that's really going to do something for you, but it's certainly not the most important thing. Like nobody watches my videos, so I'm in the same place where I'm like, I can make just about any video right now because nobody watches anyway. Like it's a funny place to be.
Yeah, it's liberating. It's liberating. Yeah. Like you're kind of in the same boat where it's just you can make the choices that you want to make. But again, it comes down to I do agree with Roberto in the sense that variety is dead, but at the same time, within what we do, there's a lot of variety that makes sense to what we're doing. Like if you want to start doing, Procreate videos, that makes sense with your channel, right? I mean, but if you're doing like, hey, I'm vlogging going to the grocery store, that definitely does not make sense. But like Procreate videos, that totally makes sense with what you're doing.
Does it?
Sure.
I've totally wanted to do just a draw with me Procreate type of video. Because I was going to show how I create something in Procreate, bring it into Keynote, animate it, and then I upload it to Giphy, or Jiffy. That's my preferred method right now for making GIFs, however you want to say it.
Yeah, I think that totally fits within the wheelhouse of what's happening on your channel. It's that wouldn't be unusual. Like if you uploaded the video, I wouldn't think, whoa, Shelly's going off the deep end on that one. She's swinging for the fences. I wouldn't think that at all. I would just say, oh, that makes sense.
You know, it's kind of funny. I found out that Envato Elements has Procreate brushes in there. And I was just like, I just downloaded like 60 brushes. And I was just like, I will be like here on my iPad until like New Year's. I've just been like, look at this one there's a reindeer and like a little Christmas tree. Like I was just like enthralled. I was like, oh, so exciting. It's so cool.
Yeah, back to your question, what do I want to make videos about? What makes my heart happy? And that's such a open-ended thing, because I could answer that today, and then next week that could change. Tomorrow. Yeah, that could change. I think above all, and I think this is part of my struggle. Like I can make videos about anything, right? But like, okay. If I just had like just unlimited resources and access to all the materials, I would totally do a channel like Tested. Like with Adam Savage Tested. Put me in a studio, let me build Hollywood props and costumes and that sort of thing. I would just be like a kid in a candy store, right?
Ooh. But I thought you were going to say something with music. Former band person, and do something.
I wouldn't do a YouTube channel about that. I like making stuff, but one thing that I see so many people struggle with, because it has to be that balancing act between like, what do I want to make versus what are people going to want to watch? Because you have to find that middle ground, right? Mm-hmm. And I just see so many people struggling, and I know you see the same thing, so many people struggling to get their foot in the door on social media. So many people struggling to grow on all of these platforms. So many people struggling to grow with just the basics of getting started. And I'm just thinking to myself, okay, I've clearly dropped the ball on explaining the basics. So how do I explain what people really need and how to get better at these things and do it in a way that's going to get through to people? I can't answer the question. And
that's the thing is, I don't know if we also do get through to everyone, because it doesn't matter how many times they hear it.
Yeah.
They don't hear it.
It's tough. It's tough. Yeah. Like, I like helping people. I love nothing more than getting like a random email with somebody who's like, hey, you told me to do this, and now my channel is this, and now I just got my first brand deal. I'm like, yes.
Hell yeah, exactly.
Yes, like that's an amazing feeling to get. So I really like that. But at the same time, I don't like remaking the same videos and just going through the motions.
Yes,
and,
I hate repeating so many times. And, I was talking about how erroneously we always think sometimes that if you make a video, everyone has seen it, absorbed it, and understood it. And so I almost get a little pissy when someone comes with like, how do you do this? And I'm like, I literally made a video about it. Go watch it. And I'm like, I don't mean to be rude, but I'm just kind of like, I don't want to rehash it when like I did it because that's not efficient. And so I have a harder time being like sometimes a YouTube guru because so much of when it's a call-in show that you have, that I've seen you, Saturdays or, 4 hours, it's the same questions over and over and over again. It's the same thing when you do channel reviews, right? It's the same things that you see over and over and over again. And people think they're this special snowflake. And I'm like, just watch any other channel review and just apply whatever I'm saying to their channel to your channel. I swear to you, it's probably the same. But like, they don't agree. And they, everyone wants their own personalized attention, look at me type moment. And I get it. But it's just kind of like, after a while, I had done a session. I think it was several hours. It ran several hours. And then it ran so long, I lost my voice. I was like, I'll come back tomorrow and I'll do all the ones that I missed. And people were so pissy about, and I was like, dude, I just took extra time out of my day. This is time away from like, my husband, my family, anything like that. And I'm doing this for you for free. And all you want to do is be pissy about how I didn't spend enough time on your channel. And I'm like, again, it comes back to the very beginning, the entitlement that some people have, and I'm like, you're not valuing me and my time and my opinion, but you want to, yell at me or make me feel bad that I'm not doing enough for you for free. And I'm just like, come on. Like,
I mean, it's a balancing act. It's a balancing act to juggle all this stuff. And moving into 2022, again, like what you just explained, part of what's in my mind, like I'm looking into, hey, Bruce Lee, well, I'm looking into like, okay, well, what bot can I get for Twitter DMs? What bot can I get for Facebook DMs to help automate all of this stuff? And I'm thinking about moving forward, how can I automate my emails even to, and by the way, if you know services that do this, please, I'm all ears, like to pick up certain keywords and reply to them automatically with videos that I've made on the topics.
Oh,
I'm just thinking, how can I automate as much stuff as possible to make me more efficient so I can focus on new things.
I think Kelly Mirabelle, Kelly Noble, she has an entire thing about chatbots.
Who is this? I'll look it up right now. Who is this?
Yeah, I'll find her for you. But she does all the stuff with chatbots where if someone mentions some sort of keyword, it can come up with some sort of automated thing back. So
what's her name? Kelly what?
I think it's Kelly Noble Mirabelle, something like that. I'm going to have to go look. I'm sorry.
Carrie Noble Mirabella. She has a YouTube channel? Baby got bought. Oh.
That's the one. Yeah. That's her.
Boom, subscribed. So talk about a niche. Talk about a niche channel. Holy cow. She's exactly what I'm looking for.
She does all the chatbot stuff. So if that's something that you want to get set up, I don't know if she just offers that service or she'll just tell you how to do it. Go follow her.
That's interesting. I just subscribed because again, it's like part of the thing that does burn me out is constantly having to type the same stuff. Even if I use like the auto saved stuff, canned responses, like even if I have that, I still have to do the canned responses. And I'm just thinking to myself, how many times during a month do I send this exact message to somebody? And I'm like, I got to automate this stuff.
So, it's funny. So, when as soon as you said someone with chatbots, that's the difference again between that generalist and specialist thing. So as soon as you said chatbots, I was like, oh, I know who you need to contact. And what bums me is I don't think anyone has that for me. There's no one thing that comes up. Someone says, oh, you have to talk to Shelly. Like I wanted it to be like, let's say vertical video or whatever else it is. Like I would like to get to a place where someone on a live stream says, oh, I can't wait to learn about vertical video or something. And someone goes, you have to talk to Shelly. She's the one. You got to talk to her, right? Go follow her right now on social. I have never been that person for any one subject yet, and I would like to be. I just don't know what that subject is.
Well, yeah, you got to figure out what the subject. That's the thing. You got to figure out what it is you want to be known for, and then you got to make 100 videos on that topic.
Way more than
a lot.
just
Right, make a lot of videos on that topic to the point to where anytime somebody looks for that topic, there you are.
I'm just the one that pops up, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to get to that point. I don't know if I ever will, but we'll see. We'll see it on that one. There was something else I was going to ask you because you started talking about that. But yeah, chatbots, automations, repeating yourself. What else? Say more about that because I swear I had something and it just was gone.
I was talking about trying to automate DMs, trying to reduce the work that I have to do to reduce the possibility that I'll get burned out. Because I'm terrible with DMs. I mean, I'm terrible at replying to people, even through emails, because my emails are just, and my DMs are just flooded with, hey, can I get a channel review? What do you think about my thumbnails? And it's just like, I've just got to weed, and sometimes I'll go through and I'll just clear them out, and then I'll feel like, oh my God, I just missed this important message from someone. So I'm just trying to think about, I've got to automate everything and then also at the same time make it to where people who need to get through to me can get through to me. Yeah.
And
so,
what's interesting is sometimes I will do that. Like I'll go through some, and the messages are like, how does this work? How does this work? And it's just like, whatever happened to hello? What happened to create a conversation or a relationship or something like that? I'm like, and I also, I don't like the fact that I am not technical support. When something in iMovie doesn't work correctly for you, don't message me on Christmas Eve to be like, well, I'm trying to make a video. And I'm like, I am not Apple, or I make an iPhone video. Like I am not them. Like so many people have these very blurred lines about what they think is appropriate and not appropriate to talk to people about. And that is just one of those things. There's like, I'm not your tech support. I'm not your channel consultant unless you pay me, right? I am not like so many of these things, but people think that they have these non-existent boundaries that you owe them things. And then they get mad at you in DMs. Like, you didn't get to my channel review. You didn't whatever fast enough. You didn't like respond. And I'm like, I don't have to. Right? Like,
there's a funny thing that happens to anyone in the chat right now. Once you start doing tutorials on specific products, if you do them enough, you become like the de facto support for the product, even though you don't work for the product. It's easy to get views on, like for me with apps. Like I can talk about these apps, but then I become support for those apps, which is really just insane.
Like I know that you did a couple of app videos for like Enlight or Video Leap or a couple of them. Yeah, and it's just like, but I'm not going to necessarily then write a comment about how like the masking didn't work in Video Leap. And I get that all the time in like iMovie. I'm like, well, this thing isn't transparent. And I even have to have like these canned responses for like, you might have a JPEG instead of a PNG with a transparent background. But it's like, I am not your technical support. I can give you a couple of things. And then if that's not going to work for you, Google it. I am not your personal Google. Like, I'm sorry. I'm just not. But and people get upset and they get mad. I had someone be like, well, I have a paper due tomorrow or my project is due tomorrow, so I need you to respond fast. And I'm like, I don't need to respond fast at all. In fact, when you do that, I'm not going to respond. Just period.
I was trying to catch up on some DMs last week, and I missed one that I actually would have replied to them because what they were asking for was actually a pretty easy fix, but their problem was they had a wedding to shoot in 2 days and they needed this information immediately. And I was thinking to myself, like if you're relying on me, I don't even know who you are, and you're just sending me a random DM to save your wedding shoot. Like you're betting on the wrong horse, man. You're betting on the wrong horse. Like I put, like, if you go to Twitter, I believe I've still got it on there. Hang on. And I think I've got it on Instagram as well. Do I still have it on there?
I think I you have something like, don't DM me for...
know. I just say no DMs, please. I try to tell people, hey, don't send me DMs. It's not because I don't want to talk to people. It's just because I'm not tech support.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tony, what's going on, my man?
I am not tech support. Absolutely. Hello, Tony Jacobson. Hello. And Bruce Lee Edits. Hello. Good to see you here as well. Annette's still hanging in there. She says, at least I taught her something about iMovie.
That's perfect.
there
Yeah,
you go.
it's funny. It's funny. So a friend of mine, he used to work for KineMaster, the app, and then he went on to work with a Light Motion, that app. A fantastic crew over there. They're all KineMaster and a Light Motion. They're all based out of South Korea. And he is, God, what does he speak? He's fluent in like 5 or 6 languages. So he handled the support in like 5 or 6 languages for those apps.
Wow.
And some of the stories that he would tell me about some of the emails and messages that they would get, hilarious. Just hilarious
Oh, I'm sure.
stuff.
I can only imagine.
Just cultural differences and just, you know, levels of sensitivity or lack of sensitivity for some areas. He used to tell me stories.
I get so many now about YouTube, TubeBuddy, iMovie, Keynote, just subscribe buttons like you would not believe. Like, it is just all of them in my DMs. And I'm just like, when did you, like, the audacity sometimes to just be like, hey, you need to answer my question right now about these things. And I'm like, all of these companies have tech support. All of them have answer forums. All of them have Google searches that could happen. I am not your only resource, or I should not be. Yeah. Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
And it's not like I don't love helping, but like, ugh.
Speaking of TubeBuddy, how's that working out?
My last day is Friday.
Digging it? Is it? Oh, you're leaving?
Yeah. We haven't really like talked about it a lot, but I mean, you know,
Holy
we're here with
cow,
friends now.
really?
So actually, Friday's my last day. Yeah.
Oh my goodness! I remember the last time we talked, you said it was way more work than you thought you were going to be doing.
It wasn't that. It's just I'm ready to focus on some stuff on my channel, so I'm really excited and that's why the whole 2022 planning is kind of like, now that I have a little bit more freedom, flexibility, time on my hands, what's that really going to look like? You know, so yeah, that's why it's just a big open question mark right now, and I don't know what the future is. If it's consulting, if it's coaching, if it's helping out on anyone else's channel. In fact, I'm still going to do, I believe, some contract work over there. So I might still show up in some videos and everything every once in a while, but just ready to focus on me for a bit.
That's interesting. So you're not going somewhere else. vidIQ didn't sweep you away.
No. I'm still pretty team entrenched, you know. I've loved them with my whole heart forever. Although I will say it's kind of funny now because like so many of my friends work there. I'm just like, guys, everybody. But no, I'm team TubeBuddy for life.
I gotta say, yeah, great company over there, but it's been really interesting. And again, I don't want to speak badly. I'm not saying this. It's just an observation that when they were purchased, holy cow, like there was a mass exodus. And then it like continues. It continues. And it's been a really interesting observation to watch it go from from a very interesting community of people who were just like part of the team to so many people leaving. And I'm just like, wow, that was fast. That happened fast. It was interesting to watch.
Yeah, I think any company that gets acquired is probably going to have some learning and growing to do. And truth be told, I think there's probably a lot of stuff that probably always needed to be tightened up a little bit. It was a very startup, fly by the seat of your pants, everyone pitching wherever you can. And I love that about them. They're scrappy, that's a good, scrappy. And I think that the people that remain there are amazing at what they do, and they care deeply about the creator experience. And so that always makes me super duper happy. And it has nothing to do with any of the people that work there. I just really wanted to finally kind of see what does it all mean on my channel, so we're going to see.
Well, that's interesting. Yeah. So this coming Friday.
Yeah. As in New Year's. I think there was some legalities with if I was still employed there in 2022 before converting to a contractor. And so it turned out it would just be easier if I ended at the new year. So that's what we're doing for right now. And I think, like I said, I will still be on there. I'm not sure how. All of that is yet to be determined, but I have nothing bad to say about, that team, that company, anything like that. And I still want to be on the channel. And I just don't know what the future is now for me. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, you'll land on your feet. I'm sure you'll figure something out.
Yeah.
Big changes. So how long did you
changes.
work? How long did you work there? Was it a year?
It was just less than a year. I think it was
Less than a year.
May. Yeah. It was May of this year, so yeah. I don't know what that is. 7, 8 months, something like that.
There you go.
I know, right?
You'll
Kinda
land on your
crazy.
feet. You'll be fine. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. I do have a little bit of that, like, oh no, what is it going to be in the future? I really don't know what it's going to be in the future because, do I go back to a big tech job, or do I go do the consult route? Do I try and go full blown YouTube guru and try and figure out what that looks like? Do I just continue to pitter about and make Procreate tutorials? Who knows? The future is ripe for the picking.
You know what's really interesting? So when I started doing YouTube, I used TubeBuddy for, oh my goodness, for finding opportunities, right, for my videos, things that I might not have thought of. But as time went on and I got a better understanding of the platform, like I don't use any of those tools anymore. I think, let me rephrase that. I don't use those tools for trying to find video opportunities. I do still use the A/B testing feature for TubeBuddy. I think that's amazing. The bulk replace for your descriptions is fine.
Oh my gosh, it's so clutch, right? Oh, it's so good.
Right. But beyond that, in terms of finding, video ideas, and I just stopped because I've got them all. I've got like vidIQ, Morning Fame, TubeBuddy. I'm just like, you know what? Like I feel like I do better when I just try to put my finger on the pulse of what I think people want versus in trying to figure out what the scores are going to be.
Oh, yeah, for
Right?
sure. I think a lot of people go after some of that keyword chasing and scores and whatnot. And
You get caught up in that.
yeah, absolutely. It's really
Yeah.
easy to get caught up in that, for
Yeah.
sure. There's so many of the tools that I still do love, like all of the bulk is always like my favorite stuff, and
yeah.
all of the extra data and A/B testing and whatnot. But like bulk updates has always had my heart. I remember when I made a video and I'm like, I know I'm not supposed to pick favorites, but this is totally my favorite tool. Like,
Yeah, and YouTube has been giving us a lot of really good new features lately too. Like you were getting more and more data from YouTube inside of Studio, so it's just like I find myself leaning more on that stuff and using the tools less, unless it is something for like A/B testing, which in my opinion,
which I don't think TubeBuddy or YouTube will ever come out with that. Truly, it's just too data intensive. Like never.
Yeah, in my opinion, the best feature of TubeBuddy is the A/B testing tool. Like if it's within your budget, get the Legend package, learn which thumbnail is best for your audience. I think that's the best feature. If that was the only feature, that could even be a standalone feature.
Right.
Yeah, even, you know what I mean? Like that's such a good tool to have because you never know. All you can do is like,
oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, because we make our thumbnails and we do the best we can do and we think they're going to work. But a lot of times when you see the actual hard data, you're like, holy cow, this other thumbnail outperformed the other one by like 50%. Like that's amazing.
It's funny that you mentioned that. So at my talk at Vid Summit, I played a game courtesy of Justin Brown, Primal Video. Shout out to him. He was nice enough to lend me some thumbnails from his YouTube channel that he had done A/B testing on, and we got to play a game with the audience of which thumbnail do you think performed better. And what's funny is in a room full of seasoned YouTube creators, a lot of them got it wrong, like almost all of them, so you can't trust just that.
Right.
Like the data is really interesting. And so what's funny is I had filmed 3 videos for just getting ahead and my departure and everything. So I had filmed is YouTube tags, like, are they dead? And then I filmed the one that just went out today, which is starting a YouTube channel in 2022. And then I'd also filmed A/B testing inside of TubeBuddy. And then I put it up in a community poll, and I was like, which video, what order do you guys want to see, basically? So we started with tags are dead, and then it was the one that went out to the YouTube advice for 2022. And so next week's video, which I won't be there anymore, but I've already scheduled a video and everything, is about A/B testing and how we get to play a little bit of the game from some of the thumbnails on our channel. But what I think is so interesting also about it is a lot of people only ever think that it's about thumbnails. And I was like, give it a shot with a title, like a positive intention title versus a negative one, and see. I think that's like an interesting thing too, because you can also see if your audience prefers some sort of inference of positive or negative for the title. We have a 15-second dance boogie, 1 second super chat. I just saw that Craig Mussine put that on screen. So give me 1 second and let's do the super chat boogie. And, or actually, I don't want to have you jump off the screen. So I'm going to put on our dance overlay. Let me see, hopefully. Let's see if that works. And then I'll play a song. Here we go. Not that song. Not that song. I suck at this. Here we go. And
that's good. Is that epidemic sound?
These are Audio Hero. Actually, there's one
That's a good one.
One that makes me think of you. Hold on. This one always reminds me of you for the funk for your super chat. That one always reminds me of you with your super chats on your, like
That's
bringing
good.
the funk. That was a good one, right? It's called Funky. That one, yeah, all of these are Audio Hero. So to answer your question, I was not a programmer, although I did learn to code and I do know how to. I was a technical program manager. So yeah, I told programmers sometimes what to do and when to do it. So there's
So Ryland Russell asks, how are you bringing guests into your live stream?
I am using Ecamm, and so the way that this works, similar to like a Zoom link or anything like that, or something else, I know you use StreamYard a lot. You can send a link to a guest, they can log in with their browser, and then they can select their camera and microphone, and I can bring them on screen through the program that I use, which is Ecamm. So I usually use Ecamm in conjunction with Restream if I am multi-streaming, but Ecamm is my preferred live streaming choice. I know you're really big into StreamYard, and I love the people there. I've tried so hard to love StreamYard, but like every time I do, it looks like I'm like calling in from a potato. Like it's the worst quality of and I'm Ethernet like hardwired in. I don't know what it is. I just cannot get it to look good for me.
Weird.
With the one exception. I was just on Zach's stream last week. We were testing popcorn. That is the first and only time I've ever called in to anyone using StreamYard and have it kind of look okay. I remember being so embarrassed when Daryl Eves did the Owen live stream. I called in. I was, again, hardwired, and I am embarrassed of how blurry I was during the stream with like Daryl and Roberto and everyone. And I look like such an amateur, and I'm like, I swear to goodness. Like I stopped Gage at VidSummit, and I had sent him emails before, and I'm like, I don't know what it is. Like, look at StreamYard versus OBS. I don't know what it's doing, but I look fuzzy. Like I sent him a screenshot and I'm like, look at it versus, I did it with Zoom. Zoom pushed to YouTube that awful quality that they do with the little output. And even it's only 720. I was like, help me love your platform because I want to really badly and I just can't make it look good. So I was going to say up until Zach's live stream last week, I've never looked good on StreamYard.
Interesting.
Yeah, I've tried it in Chrome. I've tried it in Firefox. I've tried, like, it just, with the exception of last week, I just can't get it to look, it's always fuzzy. And I even for a while had the 1080, like, it just looks awful. And I was just like, why am I still paying for this? Because I was paying, a couple $100 a year. I'm like, once it got me on the auto billing, but I was just like, I can't do it.
That's a great example of anytime somebody says, what's the best this? What's the best that? My reply is almost always, if I have a personal favorite, I'll tell them what the personal favorite is. Even if it's something sponsored, but if it's sponsored, I like the product as well. I'm not taking money for something I know
you do, and that's the thing. I know you look good when you use it. I'm not saying
But my point is, but whatever it is, somebody's like, hey, what's the best editing app? I'm like, whichever one works best for your phone.
Whichever works, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, whichever one works the best for your phone. Like, it doesn't even matter if it's a comment under a sponsored video. It's just like whichever one works best for your phone and has the features that you need. What's best for me isn't best for you. So what do you need it for? Do you need chroma key? What do you need?
Oh my God. You know that Restream only added green screen like last month. So anytime I wanted to use green screen in Restream, I had to use Ecamm Virtual Cam. And I'm like, how are you going to be like a huge like player in streaming and not have native green screen support. I was just like, this is like unheard of. This is ridiculous. You know what I do love in StreamYard is that comment winner picker thing, that little automated
giveaway tool.
That's so cool.
Giveaway tool.
I love that. I love that. I wish, though, it had a little bit more flexibility with some of the moving the windows around, but I will say it is the hands down easiest to learn when you're new live streaming. Like, it's so good for that. It's so good.
Yeah, it is.
Sorry. Didn't mean to go down this whole road about like live streaming software.
Yeah, well,
I think it's funny because someone asked. But.
It's funny that you did, because that's one of the things that I've been kicking around in my head is about, leaning more into live streaming, possibly moving into 2022.
Me too.
That's what the future is. The future the future is live streaming. Like,
because I'm going to do live streaming. I'm going to do live streaming as my podcast, because I'm bringing the podcast back. And the video podcast, so I have the video podcast channel, but I'm going to shoot the podcast, I think, live on this channel. And then I have access, because I had it up on Anchor, and I got this email saying, hey, you can do video podcasting if you want to. It's like a conjunction thing with Spotify or something. And so you can upload it there, and then it will strip out the audio and do audio only on the different whatever platforms, or you can have video. And I was just like, dude, that sounds awesome. I was telling Scott, which is technically speaking, Scott Peachy, and he ended up moving his entire podcast from where it was, I think it was Podbean, to Anchor. It's like super duper easy, but I was just like, I think he's farther along than I am. I think he's one follower or something away from being monetized over there. And I'm like, good for you. That's amazing. But if they're gonna make it that easy, then I should absolutely do it and bring it back.
Yeah, good luck with that.
You should, are you going to podcast more?
Yeah, so the funny thing is Nick and I were 70%, like we had gotten our graphics together and everything, and then I got stuck here. Yeah. So we were going to do a podcast together. And when I get back there, we'll probably kick it off then, because it was really close to going live. And then being on separate parts of the world, it's just, our timing is just,
that would be
too
really
difficult
tough.
to get together. Yeah. So Nick and I were going to do one together. We were going to do, obviously, the podcast that goes, for audio only. We're going to do a video portion as well on a standalone channel. So we have everything put together for it, 75% finished. But it's just too difficult to do separated apart. I was going to do one a while back on my own, and then because I'm not sure the direction I want to take things in 2022, I put that on pause. Once I realized that, once I felt the disturbance in the force, I was like, okay, I'm going to pump the brakes on this for a moment and make sure that I'm heading in the right direction, because I don't want to commit to something else and then end up, and then have to abandon it because I've just lost interest, or change direction, just pivot it in a whole new direction. So,
yeah. Any predictive timeline on when you might actually be able to go back? I know everything with the new variant is crazy as well, but like anything, any news?
We thought we would be able to go back maybe in January. Thailand approved 68 countries to come back. Mexico is not on the list. So we thought, we're next. Any day they're going to announce Mexico. And then Omicron hit and they shut the whole thing down again. And now they've got Omicron community spread inside of the country. So I don't know now. Who knows?
Yeah. Just to answer your question, Ryland, why not the Restream guest feature? So one difference is, there's a few differences, but like if you are talking Restream, you can have like 10 guests, and Ecamm, you can have like 4 or 5 guests. But in Ecamm, you do pay for you get a bucket of hours for people to be able to deduct from when you have people on. And Restream doesn't have that, but I like the native support of scenes, audio, and overlays of all kinds inside of Ecamm. So that's why Ecamm. And I was originally going live by myself anyway, and then I just brought D in anyway. So that's why. And I didn't want to multi-stream right now because I was just doing a quick check-in on YouTube. So, yeah. Craig is asking, do you speak Thai? I would think so, since you've lived there for so long, but
I'm not fluent, but I know enough to get around. I don't have a problem with it, and obviously the longer I'm there, the more you can hear it. But some Asian languages are tonal, so you can have a word that's got 5 different tones, and each tone means something different. So I have trouble with the tones more than anything. So I can communicate, I can understand a lot, but a lot of times I get the tone incorrect. My reading level is about that of a kindergartner. But
That's more than
it's
me.
a difficult language. It's a very difficult
Yeah.
language. Yeah. But like anything in repetition, like I can order food, I can order my coffee, I can do all the things that I do every day. I can communicate that. But if there's something, and I have a very large vocabulary, because I renovated a townhouse there several years ago, and I end up picking up a very large vocabulary of construction terms, things that you would never think that you would pick up in a foreign language.
Is it still sitting empty, or do you have someone renting it, or like it's just?
The townhouse that I'm talking about that I renovated, it's in a beach city, and I live in, as you know, I live in Chiang Mai in the north. Yeah. So the one that I renovated is actually sitting empty because we had water damage through the roof. And so somebody broke into it.
Oh, no.
Yeah, somebody broke into it. Like in Asia, they use, it's the same in South America and Latin America. A lot of times they'll put tiles on the roof, and thieves will actually just crawl on the roof and rip the tiles up, and they can like drop down through the roof. The place was empty. There was literally nothing in it because it was freshly renovated, and they ripped the tile off, went through the roof, and then rainy season came, and nobody knew that the roof was opened, and rain just decimated the whole thing. It's like, wow. And then I got stuck here. So I'm going to have to go back and spend about a month, hire a crew to come in and fix everything. And
good thing you know all those construction terms.
Yeah. yeah. But
you want to hear something funny?
Way
back in the day, I decades ago, right? I worked at a Best Buy, and at one point, when you said the roof, thieves had cut open the roof, dropped in like out of a Mission Impossible type of movie, and like with some sort of crane mechanism. At the time, they had locked all of like laptops and stuff, and we called them in these shark cages. It looks like, like the diver's in there, but it has like a padlock on it. They just up and took the whole cage through the roof. Took the whole thing. I mean, we're talking, I don't even know, hundreds of thousands of like dollars in merchandise. It was a operating like endeavor. I don't even know how. Like that is just like the weirdest thing I've ever heard. Just hole in the roof, came in and just took it.
That's crazy. Some of the houses that get built over there. So I don't want to paint a picture that it's like an unsafe place, because it's not. But there are certain areas, especially if you're in more rural areas, where there's no police, you know what I mean? And like if you leave your home empty, there's a good chance it might get broken into if you're in a rural area, that sort of thing. And some of the houses, when they build them, they'll build like a really high attic space, and they'll put like, fans in there to help, because it gets really hot, so to help move the air out, right? And some foreigners, when they build their houses, they'll take those cage type things that you're talking about, and they'll actually build cages inside of their roof. So if a thief drops in, they can't get out. They get trapped. If they drop in and it's too high for them to jump out of, to get out, they can't get out, and they get trapped up in the roof. So they build like these mouse traps up in the roof, which is pretty funny.
Well, I don't know what it was, but I was watching some sort of TikTok where they had something like that, where they came in somehow and they couldn't get back out, and they were just like trapped. So you just see them like trying to like go against the door and like get out, and then they get exhausted, and then like police came and just like took them in the morning. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine. So how's your girlfriend doing? She doing okay? Hanging in there?
Yeah, everything's good. We're just looking forward to, we might actually end up coming back here. I mean, Mexico gave us temporary residency that's good for 4 years. After the end of 4 years, we can turn it into permanent residency and stay. So we actually have residency here now.
It's almost like asylum, right? Like refugee status.
No, that's how we got it. So while we were here, they had a program, because there were so many foreigners who were stuck here from all over the world. So some cities had an immigration program where they said, okay, normally you've got to provide all these bank statements, and you got to go to like a Mexican embassy outside of the country. You got a job, you got to provide all this paperwork. They said, because of the current situation, it was kind of like a COVID amnesty thing or refugee status. And they said because of that, just fill out the paperwork and pay the fee, and you can get residency. So that's what we did.
What would happen if you
Nope.
tried to book a flight to Thailand? Like, they wouldn't even let you buy the ticket, or you would be detained at the airport, you think, on either side? Like, what would happen if you just tried to go home?
You can't. So it's a process. In order to get back into Thailand, you have to go through a fairly lengthy process of going through the embassy, mountains of paper. Like the Thais love paperwork. The Thai government loves paperwork. Thailand loves to boast like they've only got like 2% unemployment, and it's because they love paperwork. They have just warehouses of people dealing with paperwork. So you have to deal with the embassy. You've got to go through all of this paperwork nonsense. We have to apply for new visas. We have to get COVID tests before we fly. So we have to present all this paperwork to even get on the plane.
Yeah. There's
Then
a
you
lot
get
of
on the
that
plane.
happening right now for CES too, right?
Yeah. But we got to provide like financials and like all this stupid stuff. And so anyway, you fly, you land, you have to take another COVID test. And before you go, you have to book. Now they've closed everything back down. You have to book like a quarantine hotel where you stay in the quarantine hotel for like, I think it's 10 days now or something like that.
Would it be less
But-
now that the CDC is saying like instead of 10 days, it's only 5 or who knows?
Oh my God. Yeah, I think it's 10 days in a quarantine hotel. But the thing is, if you test positive at the airport, you go to like hospital quarantine. And that's where the nightmare begins. And the problem is, as a foreigner,
Begins?
and the problem is, as a foreigner, you have to test and get on the plane, and you have to go through all these protocols in order to get there and be safe. Citizens of Thailand don't have to do that. So what's happening is foreigners who jump through all these hoops get on the same plane as locals who don't have to jump through any hoops. They're on the same plane, and they're infected, and they end up getting the foreigners infected. So they test negative when they got on the plane, and they're positive when they land on the plane.
Yeah.
And it's just one foreigner after another is going into this hellish nightmare of, I saw one girl, I was on TikTok, they held her down and was taking blood samples at the hotel or at the hospital. They were force feeding her medication that they wouldn't tell her what it was. Some people are having truly like third world nightmare situations.
That sounds
So because of that, I'm like, you know what? I don't want to roll the dice on that. Like, most people are okay, but I don't want to be one of those people who like, oops, now I'm locked up for 2 weeks and I can't do anything. So
Yeah, no kidding.
yeah.
Well, could you even leave now? Because I know before, like, you had some issues with, like, maybe the girlfriend couldn't even leave.
Yeah, her situation is complicated because she has a Chinese passport. She's a Chinese citizen. Chinese people have to go home to China to get a Thailand visa. Visas around the world will not deal with Chinese citizens, or Thai embassies around the world won't deal with Chinese citizens. They have to go back to China unless, and this is where the residency came in clutch, unless you're a resident of that country. So we dodged a bullet there. So now she doesn't have to go home to China, which is a godsend because it's really hard to get into China now. So she will be able to go to the Thai embassy in Mexico City to get a new visa to get into Thailand. But that's a whole other process.
That is,
like,
oh my gosh, so much. That's so much.
and people say, why don't we stay in the USA? Is because her U.S. tourist visa only allows her a maximum of 6 months per year in the U.S. under her visa. So we're kind of like painted into this little weird visa corner. That's what's kept us here.
Yeah.
The details. The devil's always in the details.
It's always in the details, man. But I commend you, and I've been telling people that I always look to you as this kind of beacon of like perseverance and this like, you didn't let any of that stop you. Like while you're
holding on by a
marooned
thread,
in Mexico, but
holding
like
on by a thread.
setting up an entire like studio down there. You know what I mean? Like so many people here have absolutely no excuse when it comes to like what is actually going to make you get off your butt and start making videos. And here you are marooned in a whole other country and marooned in Mexico and still live streaming every week. Like it's
been an experience.
Yeah.
It's been an experience. And that says, have you learned any Spanish since you're there? So here's the funny thing. I actually knew more Spanish. So before I moved to Asia, I spent a ton of time in South America. I spent a ton of time in Colombia and Venezuela and Cuba and the Dominican Republic, and even picked up a lot of Brazilian Portuguese when I used to spend a lot of time in Brazil. And then I ended up moving to Asia. When I moved to Asia, I forgot all of that stuff because your mind goes into like Asian language mode, which is completely different than English or Spanish or Portuguese. Being back in Mexico since the pandemic, we've mostly been inside. So we haven't been able to actually communicate with people that much. My extent of communication is like talking to like the Uber delivery person, which is just like, thanks.
Well, I saw you walking around like outside, like
I was
like,
moving.
take a
I was
walk
moving
with
from one.
and
But I'm not talking to anybody, right? There's no
Right.
communication.
Right.
There's no communication. It's like the security guard and like delivery people. That's really it.
Yeah.
So it's quite funny.
But it's still amazing what you've been able to do. Like, very proud of you.
Holding on by a thread. It's, more than anything, and I think this is what I wanted to say early on, is it's not that we're in another country. We actually like it here, and we might end up coming back here. It's the uncertainty of the situation. Like, are we coming back here? When do we go back to Thailand? Can we buy more stuff? Should we not buy more stuff? You know what I mean? Like, we didn't do Christmas presents this year because we don't want to have more things to carry.
Yeah. And I'm
You know what I mean?
just
So-
living there as long as you have, you accumulate stuff because you need stuff to live, so.
Yeah, we're in this weird limbo, and that's the thing that's kind of driving us a little bit crazy is the uncertainty of what's going to happen. We just wish we would know, like, oh, here's the day you can go back to Thailand. That would just like, oh, thank God.
Right.
And then we go to Thailand, and then we can figure out, okay, are we going to stay here? Or are we going to go back to Mexico? So we've got this limbo that we're
It's more
dealing with.
definitive, right? Where it's like you just feel, even if it's the same outcome, like I stay in Mexico for 6 months and then I go to Thailand for 3 months, at least like having that plan with end dates and whatever else, like I'm sure makes you feel a lot more comfortable. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah. We
So-
just want some definitive answers,
And timelines. No, I think that's perfectly, like, I cannot even imagine being 2 years, into this and still not knowing, like, where is home? When do I go home? Like,
Yeah.
when can I go home?
Yeah, and we've had some other challenges as well. Like, we've been staying in different Airbnbs, and so Airbnb has this really dumb thing where like some guests will have like the auto book feature, and it's like a super host will leave that on, and if somebody books while you're there, they make you leave, even though you're like, hey, I want to stay here for like, hey, we booked for 3 months, but you can't book more than that because of the system inside of the software. And then all of a sudden it like bumps up a day and somebody books it, and then you got to leave. And they lose their superhost status. Yeah, so we've lost some places. It's just, we've been staying in Airbnbs, and man, it's just limbo, a lot of limbo.
Bruce Lietta says you just need to marry her so it's easier to get her over.
It's actually not. It's actually gets
no.
more complicated. Yeah. So there's certain countries where it's actually easier to bring them in under like fiance visas instead of like a marriage visa. It's, man,
Really?
immigration into the U.S. Can be very complicated depending on where the people are coming from. Yeah.
That's interesting. That's so interesting. Huh. Okay,
Yeah.
well, I am going to shut down the stream. I thank you so much for coming on and hanging out with me. But do you have anything
Awesome
that
as
you want
usual.
to share with people?
Yeah, man, just have a very safe New Year's. It's getting crazy out there. Have a safe New Year's. I hope 2022 is awesome for everybody, especially you, Shelly. I know you're going to land on your feet and have a great year as well.
I'm not knocked on my ass. I've actually, I've had people be like, "You'll get on your feet." I'm like, I never said I was not on my feet. I just don't know.
No, but you
what I
jumped. You just,
Yeah, that's true.
You jumped.
I'm building
Yeah,
my
you'll
wings
jump,
on the
you'll
way
land on
down.
There you go.
Like,
There
so
you
I can
go.
fly.
There you go.
Anyone who is here, make sure if you guys want to come back on Thursday, and we will be doing, if you want to come back, you're more than welcome, a 2022 calendar planning type of situation. So if that's something that interests you, come back on Thursday, 5:30. And other than that, thanks for hanging out with Dee and myself. We wish you a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year if we don't see you before then. And we'll see you in the new year. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye. Cheers.